to meet you.
I mean, it's huge. We were obviously expecting the death of the Queen, given that she was at such an old age. But I think it has come as something of a shock. It's kind of, there was a gulp moment where everybody received the news. And I think, you know, in a sense, we've now got two parallel narratives going on. We've got Operation Unicorn of the Queen being moved down from Scotland to London. And then we've got Operation Springtide, which is the accession plan for King Charles, and it's quite different in a way, or difficult for people to orientate themselves between the two. There's an ending and a beginning. While the Queen was alive.
And the funeral?
The funeral's going to be a huge global. What's important to also capture is that, you know, especially those of Caribbean origin in the UK, and of course in the Caribbean itself, those countries where the Queen remains head of state, and now of course King Charles assumes the throne. There is much more of mixed feelings about, I think, the passing of the Queen and the continuation of the monarchy. In the latter years of the Queen, there really was part of the Black Lives Matter movement, a sense of where was the Queen speaking out on issues that were important, like Windrush, like racism. And for them, the Queen let them down in a sense, and the monarchy, based on white inherited privilege, is unsustainable, and with calls for reparations. Racism in the royal family, if that really came out, I think that could really fundamentally... So I think there's a warmth towards him now. I think it remains to be seen as we get beyond this period of mourning, as we anticipate the coronation. Will a lavish coronation at the time when, you know, Britain is facing a huge energy crisis, cost of living crisis, will that just chime in a really awkward way? That this sort of obsession with how, you know, a white privileged man becoming king, and all of the expense in the ceremony of the coronation, the security around it, is that going to really chime badly with the UK public in a way that perhaps overshadows his beginning of his reign as monarch? There's been a delay to it. I mean, I think it'll be really interesting. There's a hope for some kind of reconciliation if the... But I think this responsibility is going to weigh heavy on him. Not to let his mother down, not to screw things up, to respect and build on what she's done, her legacy. And, you know, if opinion polls over time shift and that less than the majority of the UK public support the monarchy, and there is more visible backlashes, I mean, he's going to feel both personally in the sense of a responsibility to his mother's memory, and also just in sense of his own constitutional position, I think really challenged. Kate and Harry and Meghan. I don't think directly that's significant. What could be significant? The wobble is about whether the loss of this kind of stabiliser. She was kind of a stabiliser for the UK, and she was also a good argument for keeping a united kingdom. Without her, people feel like there's more of a licence to re-examine what identity should be, and think that actually without the monarch, perhaps some of these debates that have been really relatively held in check will now really kick off.